This man is a self-made billionaire and has some advice for everybody watching. Do not sit back and wait for the government to act. Go create your own opportunities. Joining me now from Austin, Texas is John Paul DeJoria, CEO of Paul Mitchell, co-founder there, and also owner of Patron, among many businesses that you're involved in. John Paul, it was great of you to be here. Let me ask you this, though, because to talk about opportunity is one thing, and you did it and did it more successfully than the vast majority of people. But for somebody who's struggling to find work, how does that translate?
Well, first of all, you have to understand we're in America. It's we the people. If we depend on the government to create our jobs for us and create our lives for us, that's communistic, socialistic. That's not America. We the people must work and go out there and find something. And I've got to tell you, there's a lot out there. You just have to know. I'll give you an example. I was in Tyler, Texas last night with two 26-year-olds, Jessica and Tyler. They wanted to open up a salon. They didn't have several $100,000. In the last 3 years in this economy, they managed to get together $50,000, opened a salon, went to one of the Paul Mitchell schools. We have about 16,000 students that graduate each year from our school, and there's more jobs waiting than there are students to fill right now. However, we ask salons, go to the school to get the people, don't wait for them to go to you. All of a sudden, they were fully staffed in full operation the very first day. Forbes magazine had an article last week about a company in New Jersey called Creston. Creston is paying $17 an hour for people on the assembly line if they know what they're doing. They're having such a problem getting workers, unskilled workers. They're going to teach the workers what to do. That now from New Jersey, they're getting a bus to go to New York, to go to some of the areas there to get unskilled workers down. In North Dakota, there are tens of thousands of jobs in energy. I think one of the brightest things that I've heard in the last few months is that a lot of younger people are going to work in fast food restaurants. Maybe it's minimum wage. Instead of waiting for their ideal job, they're doing something temporarily to get them underway. So it's we the people that should take over, find the opportunities, go for them, and be back to what America's all about. We the people making it happen, and not just waiting for the government to do something great.
I have to say, well, speaking of government, you might want to run for public office, John Paul. I'm just saying. But I know that you signed Warren Buffett's giving pledge not long ago to give away at least half of your fortune, giving it away yourself, not to the government, I might add. Do you think that we give in this country, the people who have made the bucks, do you think that you give enough?
I think, well, I definitely feel that I give enough, and I'm giving more. The whole thing is now I'm finding out where to put the money, where it's really working. So every year I'm giving more and more, and I think there's a lot more like me that are out there. But you look at it this way, I could spend $1 on a philanthropy program like Grow Appalachia. I could spend $1 and maybe get $50 or $100 worth of what the government would get. Because as a business person, I go for the end result immediately and get rid of a lot of red tape along the way.
And speaking, well,
and I think,
go ahead, finish your thought.
I think that a lot of people are thinking the same way I am. Let's contribute our money to help America grow where we know best as business people. We can help out and stretch a buck a lot further than I think a bureaucracy could.
That one last thing, John Paul, the drop in the unemployment rate back to where it was in March of 2009. Is the economy improving enough, you think, that that's justified?
Well, I look at it this way. There's only 1/3 of the people that lost their jobs back, in 2008 that are back at work. There's still a lot that aren't back at work. I think that the justification is this. We need a lot more people back to work. And a lot of people, for example, I think, in politics should look at where they're weak and where they're strong. May I give you an example of the super committee, if you don't mind?
Sure, go
the
for it.
super committee. Yeah, the super committee was a great idea, but how do you make it work? They're all politicians. Maybe one of them had a father that was an entrepreneur at one time. They did it behind closed doors. First of all, they have to realize their weaknesses. I know my weakness. I'm not a detailed person. Thank God for managers there are and accountants, or I'd be really in big trouble. However, these guys are great politicians. They probably mean well. But why don't you do it in open doors? Do it behind cameras and get some business people in there that are used to making things work. They're used to taking, okay, the economy is bad. How do we now reduce our expenses and make things work? You look at corporate America, they have a lot of money now that's there. Why? Because when things went bad, they looked at how do we make things go right? How do we spend less and get more results? So if the super committee had some business people in there helping them out, and they did it not behind closed doors, but in front of windows with cameras in there, they could solve this not for $1.25 trillion, but maybe $4 or $5 trillion
amen to that.
properly to help America.
John Paul, it was great to talk to you. Thank you so much. John Paul DeJoria, always full of ideas, and he made it and made it big, my man. Please come back very soon. Take care.
And you can too. Peace, love, and happiness.
Still time. All right, the one birdie question today, are you planning to buy a car the next 6 months? That's what we asked you today.
Many of you say no.